Hello and welcome to the Hank Cisco Show. My name's Stan Husky. I'm your host for the day, trying to fill in for Hank. But let's face it, nobody can really fill in for Hank Cisco. So I'm just doing the best I can here. I think you'll notice I don't have my stuffy blazer on today. I changed it out today for my favorite sweatshirt, and I got something on my arm there, my Elmwood Park Zoo sweatshirt, because I have on the show with me today Morgan Reale, Director of Guest Services, and Jamie Sherd, the new Guest Services Manager. Welcome to the show, folks.
Thank you for having us.
Obviously, I have a close spot in my heart for the zoo. I do a little public affairs work and government affairs work for the zoo, so I think it's a great show we're going to have today. We'll talk about a lot of neat stuff going on. Obviously, the biggest is the 95th anniversary. Getting started with celebrating that. Morgan, tell us. I
got a whole list of events that are happening for our 95th year celebrations. We do a couple events annually, and our first one to kick off the 95th year celebration is our Beast of a Feast, and that's on June 20th. The tickets are $75 for members and $80 for non-members. You can also get a corporate tent sponsor for $1,200. We also have our wine safari event in August.
Let's go back to the Beast of the Feast.
All right.
That's one of my favorite events, and I missed it last year.
It's a great event.
It is a great event. I missed it. I was out visiting one of the kids, but it's an incredible thing that doesn't really happen much around here. So let's dig into that a little bit. You have how many restaurants?
We usually have over 20 restaurants.
20 to 30, I'd say, is usually how many we have.
All from Montgomery County.
And we started getting a couple different wineries and breweries that will come as well during that night, so that's really awesome as well to get just an all-inclusive night of food and beverages and just a great time. We have local artists that come out. And perform.
Band performances.
And that's a great way to check out some of the local craft brewers as well.
Yes, it is.
We're no longer doing the
Oktoberfest.
Yep. So that's a kind of a fill in there for folks who kind of missed that, like I do. That we still get some of the local craft brewers to come in and hang out with us.
Yep. And the distilleries, we have Five Saints. They're one of our biggest distillers that come out, and they set up samples so you can sample the vodka and the different gins and things that they have down there.
Five Saints right here in Norristown.
Right here in Norristown, yeah.
They have I think they have a new rum coming out, and then they have absinthe is a new one that they're doing. Yeah, everybody says that. So yeah, a lot of local. We love that. So say again, how do we get tickets for that? When do they go on sale?
They're on sale now. You can go onto our website, elmwoodparkzoo.org, and you can find the link for the tickets. And again, it's $75 for members and $80 for non-members. And you just have to be a member of Elmwood Park Zoo to get the $5 discount.
And 21 and over.
Oh, yes.
21 and over, absolutely.
No kid.
And great restaurants. Do you have any? We have restaurants already that you know are going to be there?
I know Nothing But Cakes is going to be there. It's a new bakery that's local.
Okay.
So I know that.
Nothing But Cakes.
Green Turtle, I think, always comes out.
Green Turtle?
Yeah. Trying to think of who else we usually have. I know Conshohocken Brewing Company will be there. We partner with them for the Zoo Brew. Yep,
they're going to launch a 95th anniversary beer for us to sell on tap throughout the summer.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Is it an IPA?
I'm not sure. They're talking about it today. Hopefully they'll decide on what kind it is. And that'll open, the Zoo Brew will open in April.
That's my plug. If we can push for an IPA, that's
okay.
I like them as well.
Noted.
Wine Safari.
Safari.
That's kind of a newer event, isn't it?
2017, I think we started it.
Yeah, so this would be the third one, I guess, maybe?
Yep, it's more intimate setting. We usually get about 300 people to come to that, and there's different wineries placed throughout. You can sample the wine and then purchase a bottle or two if you like the wines that you sample. So that's kind of neat. And there's different food paired throughout the zoo as well.
And we have our own special wine?
Yep, we do have our own special wine from Chadsford Winery. It's the
Arctic Fox White and the Red Fox Red wine. They're both blend, an American blend of their type.
And there's a white and a white and a red.
Yep.
Yeah, and I actually like the blends. I mean, a lot of people they love their Merlot or their Cab, or if you get the blend, you know, it's a little I don't know what how I want to say it, because I'm not a wine snob, but it's just a little easier. It's just a little a little more like universal. I guess is the bad way to put it. I'm not sure. So what else we have going on?
We're doing a new event, a golf outing. That's going to be at Bluestone. And
I've been working on that one.
I've got go ahead. So you maybe tell me what's going on.
So we had a meeting yesterday,
okay.
Which I'm not sure when this is airing. So we had a meeting last week, but some really neat stuff that we're going to try to pull off. One is we're gonna have like an alligator on the 18th hole, not a real one.
Okay.
But we have an alligator on the 18th hole that you putt into it, kind of like when you're putt.
Oh, okay.
You end and your ball just kind of goes away. We're going to do a beat the CEO. I love this. We're going to put
nice.
Our CEO Alzone on one of the holes.
Okay.
And you'll wager against whether or not you can beat him. My guess is most people will, but that's just my thought there. A really neat one is a slingshot. I've never seen this one before, and we were talking about it yesterday, where your foursome or whoever would grab two sides of the slingshot, take your golf ball, put it in a little cup, and you just shoot it toward the green.
Oh.
So we're going to do that on another par 3.
That's fun.
We're going to try to do, like take the animal that jumps the highest. Like I'm not sure if it's a cougar or what animal we have that jumps the highest, and put a cut out of them, and then you have to hit over it. To get to the green. So just some really fun stuff that we want to do that make it completely different. I've gone to a lot of golf outings in my life.
Yeah.
And I love golf, but it's always kind of the same. And at the end of the day, you sit down and you have the chicken dinner and everybody makes a speech and here's your prize. We're not doing any of that.
Great.
At the end of it, it's going to be, we're going to have a food truck out there. We're going to have food stations. It's going to be more of a extended kind of cocktail hour at the end rather than the stuffy stuffed chicken dinner.
Yeah, dinner.
Try to keep going with that stuff. So do you have any more on your list?
I just
want to make sure you get a chance to say.
Our last thing that's huge for us is our gala. That's November 14th. That is also at Bluestone, so that's pretty big. It's a black tie event. There's going to be lots of different entertainment at that event as well.
So everybody who's anybody is going to be there.
Yeah.
It's Absolutely. A place to come and be seen and see.
Yep, so mark your calendars, November 14th.
And if anybody wants to go to the golf outing, just let me know. I'll get you hooked up for that. That's I'm really excited about that. And we've got plenty of time to plan it. So those are just a few of the things. We want to try to do everything different.
Yeah.
In fact, I heard Bubby might actually be on the driving range.
Oh, yeah.
And if we're going to take bets on who can hit him and who, so that might be another way to raise money.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that we just started, and I have mine on here today, and I'm doing the best I can here to pitch in for the team, is a Fitbit challenge. Well, you tell us a little bit about that, Jamie.
We're very excited about it. We are going to be, all of our full-time staff now have a Fitbit, and over the next 50 days, 49 now, we are going to be broken down into teams, and we are going to be going to try and win the most mileage. So we're
thankfully the three of us are on the same team. So
and I hated when you said broken down into teams. I don't want to be broken down.
Built up.
You're in a good team.
Good. Also, each team is going to be raising money for a conservation effort. So we're all picking different conservation efforts. We're really trying to make sure that it's also about giving back. It's not just about the zoo itself. We're trying to give back the best way we can. And we're excited to announce the zoo's actually going to match the winning team for how much they fundraise, up to $5,000. So
the goal is to try to walk to 95 and play on our 95th anniversary. 95 zoos in 50 days. So. And
I saw, how many miles is that?
10,100.
Yep.
Miles. So I'm also looking for sponsors. So anybody out there, shusky@elmwoodparkzoo.org. Just if you think about it. So you mentioned conservation. So that's basically the mission of conservation and education. The mission. I don't know the actual mission statement. Can either of you come up with it off the top of your head?
To foster an appreciation, conservation, education.
That's where I was going with it anyway. So it's an appreciation, conservation, and education, and conservation is at the core of what we do over there, and you won't really think about that. If you're the average public person, you don't think of a zoo as being a conservation entity. So I think that's very important, and I think this challenge is a great way to stress that and really educate people about what zoos do. You know, I've only been helping out over there for a couple of years, and I've really learned a lot. And one of the biggest things that hit me, other than the conservation, is the number of rescue animals that we have. You know, the idea that, you know, people sometimes they're like, oh well, you know, the zoos, they have their animals in cages, and you know, they're really not, and they're more enclosures these days with the old cages going away. But what really struck me was the number of rescue animals that would not be alive today were it not for the zoo. I think that's really important for...
Yeah, we are part of the species survival plan, so a lot of the animals are on that plan to help rebuild the population in the wild. So, you know, there's certain animals that are selected and a part of that program, and you have to be approved to have those animals at your facility. So.
One of them I learned about right away we're still struggling to get is the jaguarundi, which almost sounds like a Disney animal or something, sounds made up, but most endangered cat in the world. And they're down in South America, and it's really difficult, but I'm excited to think that we could actually get a pair of those and be part of bringing that animal back as well. So, Director of Guest Services. What do you do other than tell Jamie what to do all day?
Oh, well, there's a lot. You know, in the guest services, we hire at 14, so what I'm passionate about is having the younger staff learn and be prepared to move on away from the zoo, like do a lot of job prep, how to do interviews, how to succeed within the department. Jamie's been within the zoo 4 years. Yep, and he started as a regular guest services and a representative, you know, taking tickets, and he made his way up through the ranks, and now he's recently promoted as a manager, so giving people opportunities within.
Congratulations to you on that. That's fantastic. What are some of the things that you kind of did over the years, you think? You know, that we are in a high school setting, and these are our young folks here are going to be doing the same thing that you're doing pretty soon. What are some of the things that you think you did to make you successful and allow you to move up the ranks like you did?
I think some of it comes down to commitment. I think if you invest yourself in anything, I think that's the biggest step. If you show the initiative that you want to be there and you want to do...
Work ethic is huge.
The best that you can do, you'll really have opportunities fly at you.
Yeah, I saw something the other day I thought it was great. It was a quote or a saying or something, and it talked about things that don't cost any money at all.
Oh, I saw that,
And it's you know, getting up on time, showing up when you're supposed to, putting your work ethic, putting 100% into what you're doing. I thought that was a great and great advice, obviously, for people who feel like, oh, well, you know, I can't do this, I can't. Well, yeah, you can. It doesn't cost a penny, and you just, you know, have to make yourself, I guess, do it.
Yeah, hold yourself accountable for sure.
Yeah. So, I want to go back to the guests, because this is another thing that has blown me away since I started at the zoo, is the number of guests that we have. You know, that's just amazing. I think last year we surpassed 640,000 guests.
That's correct.
And the way I put that into perspective for people is, you know, because people say, oh, 640,000, that's great. I said, think about it this way. We have more people come to the zoo than show up for Philadelphia Eagles home football games every year.
Yeah.
And you think about it, if you've ever been to a game, you see that stadium packed full of people, that makes that number stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. It's incredible. And with that number even being so big, you'd be surprised about how many people don't even know that we're in Norristown. They don't even know that there is a zoo. I mean, Philadelphia is right down the street. It's one of the oldest zoos in the country. And here,
the oldest zoo in the country.
The oldest zoo, and we're competing. We're right up.
I was standing out the gate one day, and I was waiting for a meeting to start, and the zoo had just closed, and there were people leaving. This guy was coming up, and he has, I think he had crutches on, or crutches on. He was on crutches and had a big boot on. He said, "You mind if I go out this way?" He didn't want to go through the gift shop. "You mind if I go out this way?" And I said, "No, not at all. Come here. I'll unlock it for you." And he actually hobbled by me and says, "So how long have you guys been here?" And I was like, "Really? Almost 100 years."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, I've lived here for about 20 years, and I didn't know you guys were even here."
Yeah, we get that all the time.
That's amazing to me. That's amazing to me. which leads me into a saying that Hank Cisco just loved, and I use it all the time too. It's as long as the zoo's been there, and as popular as the zoo is, and as many people, 640,000 visitors, there's still people who don't know about it. And Hank would always say to me, because he tried to get me to do a story once, I forget what it was, and I'm like, Hank, everybody knows that story. We've done that story. I don't want to do that story again. He looks at me and goes, you know, there's a reason they ring the church bells every Sunday. And I love that saying. It's, you know, you drive by that church every however many times, you know where it is, you know it's Sunday, you know, but they still ring the bell. They still ring the bell because they still want you to remind you it's time to go to church. So I always like that one. One of his many sayings, but that's one of my favorites. So, Jamie, what's next for you? You're going to try to move up to CEO, or you're going to?
I don't know about that, but I'm excited. I've started doing some of the retail end of the zoo, so ordering product, talking to different vendors, making sure that we're getting a variety of different items and
stuff. We just did a little renovation in the gift shop. You know, moved some desks around, get better flow, and Jamie was a part of that. And the passion about building the displays to get people excited about the new product, and now the product's just flying off the shelves.
So I did notice that. So was that part of some kind of feng shui thing that it will entice more people to buy? Is that?
So we just want to be prepared for our busiest season, which is coming up the spring into the summer. We're really excited for having a lot of guests out, but one of the things that means is that it's going to be a high traffic area. So it is to help sell the product, but it's also to help with accessibility. We have a lot of families that come through with double strollers. That's one of our big concerns. We need to make sure that they have enough room to get by, and we're not causing traffic jams in the middle of our gift shop.
Sure.
Especially when we have group trips of about 100 kids that get off the bus and are excited to go into the gift shop and check it out.
I've seen the place packed, so the only way to make it where there's not traffic jams, I think, is to double the size. Because sometimes there's a lot of people in there, but that's a good thing. That's a good.
It's a great thing, but we just want to be prepared so that people are able to get through and see everything.
And the school groups, capitalize on the school groups, so have enough product in there for them. And it definitely did open up more space to have more items in the store.
Yeah, it looks bigger.
Yeah,
you know it's the same space,
right?
Same square footage, but it looks bigger. I think that's a neat thing. So, what's coming up at the zoo? I know there's a lot of neat projects. Going across the creek is coming pretty soon, but there's a new exhibit taking place right in the middle, isn't there? We're going to break ground on that pretty soon.
Yeah, we're going to get a clock in the middle of the zoo. It's going to be to kick off our 95th anniversary. It's a nice 4-face clock. Nice old looking to kind of go with the theme of the zoo and the 95 years, and that's going to go right where actually the old eagle slide was. So a lot of our members remember that.
And there's a opportunity there for some sponsorships or from people to get their names on it, I believe?
Yeah, you can purchase a plaque. Not sure the pricing of that, but you can get anybody's name, or if you want to remember somebody, you can purchase a plaque that will go around the base of the clock, I believe. But it's a great sponsorship opportunity for the zoo to make a little money.
Yeah, and it's ongoing, obviously. Just trying to raise money, trying to keep everything running as smoothly as possible. So I know that's a full-time job all by itself, with a whole department that tries to do that year-round. I don't know why this just popped out of my head. Favorite animal at the zoo? What is the animal that everybody wants to see? I forgot my giraffe socks this morning. I thought about it after I left. I'm thinking it's a giraffe because you can hand feed them. That's a heck of an experience.
Absolutely. I mean, for $4 coming in on a daily basis to feed a giraffe, it's incredible. I mean, you're getting within inches of the giraffe's tongue, and you can really experience such an amazing animal that you wouldn't normally right in Norristown. So that's incredible.
And that's kind of like, the giraffe is cheating a little bit there. Of course, he's going to be the favorite there. What after that? What's your favorite animal at the zoo?
My favorite animal at the zoo, I really like the porcupines. They kind of just slug around. Yeah, I have pugs, and pugs are lazy, and I like that the porcupines are lazy and they're cute, and I just like them.
The porcupine. I would have never guessed the porcupine. How about you?
I have another kind of unpredictable ones, but I love the capybaras that are down by our duck pond. They have a lot of personality. They always crack me up. We have 2 of them, but I think they're really awesome, and they're an animal that, again, people don't always think of when they go to a zoo.
Yeah. What about you? What's yours?
Well, I was going to say, I don't even know what a capybara was, so you certainly don't think. And I know Senator Leach loves the capybara
oh, yeah.
as
he sponsored
well.
it.
I love the giraffes. I have a bunch of them at the house, even years ago before I came on board with the zoo, and I won through a silent auction. I paid for it, but I won this really cool giraffe. It's about this tall, and it was a wood carving.
Oh, wow.
And the legs are no bigger around than this pencil, and they're probably 1.5 foot tall, the legs itself, and then his neck goes on up. So it's a really cool piece.
Was that before you were at the zoo that you won that item?
Oh, yeah, this was probably 6 years ago.
Oh, wow, so it's fate.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And then I have a couple more around the house, and so I've always liked the giraffe. I just think it's a really cool animal. It's almost like a engineering marvel with the long neck and the long legs, and being able to move like it does. They're a lot faster than you think they are.
What's crazy is that their necks are so long. They have the same number of bones in their neck, the vertebrae, as we do. I think it's 7. They have 7, but they're bigger. But it's the same number as we do.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
the same number in the neck, just the neck alone. And yet their neck is, what, 6 feet long?
Yes.
That's crazy. I did not know that. Now I like them even more.
Yep.
I love the jaguar.
Yeah, the jaguars.
I really do. I think jaguars are really cool. That new exhibit, I don't know, it's 2 years old now?
Yeah.
2017, yep.
Yeah, a little over 2 years old. But what an exhibit.
Yeah, it's a great indoor space.
To be able to get that close to that animal that could, just rip your face off.
Oh, yeah.
Is amazing. It's what an experience. I remember once when it first opened, we were talking, and there was a bunch of people in there, and I happened to walk over, and I was kind of leaning against the wall right next to the glass thing, and all of a sudden Mom came up and was right there, and it kind of startles you a little bit, even but they're incredible animals, and that as our role as part of the species survival plan, I believe one of the younger ones was just sent to another.
Diego just went down to Memphis, I believe, and he's now paired with another jaguar named Philomena down at their zoo down there. So we're really excited.
Hopefully a breeding pair to get more cubs that we can then get to another facility and then hopefully release someday.
But they're not endangered, are they? Jaguars, or are they?
I believe
they are endangered.
They are endangered. Okay.
I don't think they're definitely not as endangered and threatened as the jaguarundis and some of the other big cats, but I believe they're still on the endangered list.
Well, they're not endangered at the zoo because those guys, they're treated pretty well over there. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, you can adopt a jaguar too. We get a lot of people to adopt the jaguar.
Can I take it home?
Yeah, well, you can't.
I don't know if you'd want to.
But you can take a plush home so you can think about the jaguar.
Going back to that exhibit, though, these guys are really well taken care of. I know I was when it was being built. We were talking about the air system that was being put in, and it was. I'm going to butcher the numbers, but in your house, I think you're supposed to circulate the air like 4 times a day, and in a hospital, it's like 16 times a day, and then the Jaguar. Enclosure, it's like 28 times a day or something. It's just amazing. Yeah, so it's a really incredible exhibit. If anybody hasn't been down there to see that, it's amazing. And of course, feeding the giraffe. I mean, come on. When I first did that, I was just.
But you can feed another animal. The bison.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
That's a massive animal.
A couple ton coming. I mean, you're pretty close to that animal as well that you can hand feed.
Yeah, and you're very close. And that bison alone is an amazing story, and the comeback that they're making.
Yes.
I really like to tell people about that, especially if you go through the exhibit outside the enclosure, and that one picture of Buffalo Bill Cody standing on all
the bones,
all of the buffalo. That's an amazing photo. What else do you guys want to talk about? I think we have a new exhibit, don't we, coming in the middle of the zoo there? Otter is going to be redone. I think we're going to talk about people's favorite animals. Everybody loves the otter.
Yes. Yep. They're always doing different things, the otter. So it'll be nice to get them a new enclosure that is more up close and personal, that you can see them. I believe there's going to be some underwater features in there so you can watch them swim around. And
I think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Is that when you go through the exhibit and you're starting to go back out, then you see them underwater. I think there's going to be a traffic jam there, because I think people are going to stop and watch these guys play. But are they really playing? Somebody told me they're more like they're kind of fighting with each other. They're kind of like, get out of my way, this is mine. But
if it's fighting, I think it's playing. It's great. It's very fun.
I used to fight with my brothers all the time when we were young, and I think it's the same thing. You're kind of fighting with them, but you're kind of playing too. But they're really, really popular animals. So it's great that we're getting them a new exhibit. I think that's really, really neat. And what else is going in there?
I think the bobcat
fox.
might be the fox.
Yep. Fox, bobcat, otter, and porcupine.
Porcupine. Yep. The North American.
I think it's porcupine.
Since we're talking about that, we should touch on the Treetop Adventures. They're also celebrating an anniversary, and I say that because it's right where the same area is in the zoo. They're celebrating their 4th or 5th year being open, so that's pretty exciting. I think it's the 5th year.
5th, yeah.
And what a great addition. I remember years ago bringing my kids. I think it was still a suggested donation back then, but it was a glorified petting zoo. 20 years ago, that's about what it was. But you're hand feeding giraffes now, and bison, and you have the zoo brew down with the craft brew beers that are available to folks. New exhibits popping up all the time. We're going across the creek for an animal hospital that's going to be amazing. And then Treetop Adventure, that it really has gone in the past 5 years from a glorified petting zoo. I use that phrase. To a destination. And Elmwood Park Zoo is a destination now. 640,000 visitors can't be wrong.
Right, especially right in Norristown. I mean, it's just crazy to think about the amount of people that come through to do different things. And it's, it used to be maybe a half-hour adventure to come to the zoo. Now they're spending the whole day at the Elmwood Park Zoo doing the different activities that we have hosted.
And Treetop Adventure, I think, is a big addition to that, because of the, you take it now. Now you can do a date night, because they're at night too.
Yep, they have night adventures.
Yeah, a lot of people think, well, the zoo's closed, it's night, but no, there's still things going on that you can come and have a little bit of fun with, and Treetop Adventure is one of them. Coming up in the summer, also music on Friday nights, is it, at the Zoo Brew?
We do Sunday nights. Sunday nights, we're going to try to do Sunday nights, but Sunday during the day, we're trying to get some, daytime music and have some beer where they can come to the zoo and just relax. It's always tough to find music to listen to in the summer, especially on a Sunday afternoon, so we're going to try to do some live entertainment regularly.
What do you mean it's tough to find?
Well, I know I'm always looking for music to listen to when I'm out on a Sunday or
okay, I thought you meant it's tough for us to find musicians to come play.
No, that's not the case. We always have people always reaching out to play and perform, so it's just having the consistency of the live music.
Yeah, and because it's not just the Zoo Brew, it's a beer garden.
It is a beer garden.
There's a whole space down there now with a small stage for the musicians and board games that you can play while you're there. There's a lot of different things you can do to make an afternoon of it. Like you say, you could walk through the zoo for a while and then just go sit and relax before you go home. So that's a great spot in there. One of my favorite animals, I'll go back to one of my favorite animals, and I don't know why, it's the prairie dog. I just love to go watch the prairie dog. They're up. They're almost like little miniature meerkats. They're looking around, and that's a neat little exhibit, because you get to see kind of behind the scenes, or with the viewing that you have there. I think that's a great exhibit as well.
Yeah, when I first started, we only had a couple prairie dogs. Now we're up to like 14 prairie dogs in that exhibit, which is really neat.
There's 14 of them?
Yeah, that's what was before the hibernation. That's what.
Well, no wonder I always see some of them out. There's always like 4 or 5 of them running around. So, wow, I didn't know that. So, before we have to go, I want to talk about education. We talked about conservation a little bit and what we do with that. Education's a huge part of the zoo as well.
Absolutely.
And we have a whole education department. You want to touch on that and what they do?
Oh, the education, they're coming up with different programs all the time. They're just announcing a STEM program, which is to try to get the science, education, and mathematics. They're, trying to get...
Science, technology, education, and mathematics.
Yep.
Yeah,
Something like that, but they have a whole program, family programming this season that the families can come and take advantage of. That's free with admission. They just have to pay admission or a membership, and they can sign up and take advantage of these different programs that Education's hosting within the zoo.
And they also go out. They go out and do
Zoo on Wheels. Yeah. So you can bring the animals to your facility and have a program, a 20-minute program, and they bring different animals and educate you on different things like habitat or adaptations.
Yeah. And I think there was a combination there with the zoo wines. You can do a resident rewards program. I know there was a couple of companies that took advantage of that, where you can have a wine tasting and have a couple of zoo animals out there as well. Kind of combine that for your guests, for your, if you're a big place like some of the new massive apartment complexes that they put in over in King of Prussia, because they're always looking for something to do for their residents. So I think that's a really cool thing too. It's an afternoon with the zoo, basically, with the zoo's wine and the animals. So I think that's a neat case. And the education is so critical. It's like I was touching on earlier about the fact that people don't really think about that part of the zoo.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, now that you're saying education, I just thought about it. Norristown, we're doing a takeover day for Norristown students. I think it's all first graders in Norristown are coming to the zoo on May 7th for free. And we're doing, we're in charge of the busing, and we're going to get, I think it's 700 first grade Norristown first graders to come to the zoo. And our education team got that.
That's really cool. And that's when, May 7th?
May 7th.
Okay. And that's coming from it's coming through the schools?
Yep, the school, all the Norristown schools.
But there's also a Norristown Free Day, isn't there?
Yep, so there's a Norristown Takeover Day. That's April 6th. The parks, there's going to be different entertainment in the park. The South Gate is going to be open so they can come into the zoo. There'll be food trucks, and it's free for Norristown residents that are in 19401.
And that's April 6th?
April 6th.
10 a.m.? When's it start?
Yep.
10 a.m.
Whole day.
And it's the whole day?
Yep, till the zoo closes.
It's an open house. It's come and go. I like it. That'll be a lot of fun. And then there's other municipalities can do this, though. You mentioned the takeover day. Like even somebody out in Whitpain, they could do a Whitpain takeover day, right? And their residents can come in.
They can sponsor a day.
Yeah, that's a really neat program for folks to do. We did one last year, I think, for Conshohocken.
And we did one for...
it's out by Limerick.
Yeah, Pottstown.
Pottstown did a Pottstown take. So we should shoot for every municipality should have one, just to educate people on the zoo and what's going on here. I mean, it's an amazing thing, and it's right here in Norristown.
Yep, right here in Norristown.
There's a zoo in Norristown.
Yeah, we do so much for Norristown. We also host a free Norristown Day the first Sunday of every month from 2 to 4. So just lots of opportunities.
And that's just for Norristown residents?
Just for Norristown residents.
Yep. And that's 19401 again, zip code again, right? All right. Oh, a lot going on, a lot coming up at the zoo, too. There's a lot of expansion. I believe we were just approved for a new parking lot.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting.
I'd like to stress to the folks watching that they've probably been to the zoo before and couldn't find a place to park. So we really want to tell everybody about this new parking lot coming, that you will be able to find a place to park. I mean, it's one of those, another great problem to have. You have so much going on, and so many people want to come see you, but they can't find a place to park. Good problem to have. I like to say it's a good problem to have for a short period of time.
Yeah.
You don't want that to go on for too long, because then it's like, oh, you can never find a place to park. Great zoo, but you can never find a place to park there. So hopefully that's going to be alleviated before the real season gets too much underway.
Yeah.
I think we're going to try to break ground on that in the middle of April, I believe. Yeah, very soon. Very soon. Looking really forward to that. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Almost like 2 years, like as long as I've been with the zoo.
Yeah. I think you were supposed to head that project, right?
I think it's been a while. But,
Yeah, now you can breathe.
So so much going on. We could sit here and talk and talk and talk. This zoo is more, and I think we're just scratching the surface. The zoo is an amazing place to be. I think it's you call it a jewel, you call it a treasure. You know, those phrases are so overused. But in reality, is if you take advantage of everything that goes on at the zoo, it really is a treasure. It really is something that we would love to see everybody just come out and support. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You know, just memberships alone. You know, what are some of the memberships that we have? We have
individuals. So if you just want to come with yourself and a guest, it starts at $89, and then it goes up to $199
for. The zoo for two. So if you have a small family starting out, that gets you 2 adults and then 1 guest. So that could be a child.
And then we have our family and friend level, which is you get 3 adults and 2 guests and up to 6 kids in the household. So you really get a lot of advantages in membership. You get discounts throughout the zoo. Any events that we have, you get a discount. In the nature shop, you get a discount. With the food, you get a discount. And we are reciprocated with other zoos, so you get a discount at Philadelphia with our membership, which is huge.
And what a bargain, because there's no limit. You can come as many times as you want throughout the year.
Yep, and we do have individuals that take advantage of that, so that's huge.
Great stuff. Well, listen, guys, thanks for being on. Like I said, we could talk about this for hours. I have to have you come back on. We'll do another show just to follow it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great.
And thank you for watching. Greatly appreciated. And for my friend Hank Cisco, keep bobbing and weaving.